Before the Civil Rights Act of 1964, lodging choices were limited to African Americans who traveled. Public accommodations were segregated. Entertainers and vacationing families had few places to stay. As a result, African American families began sharing their homes, eventually establishing guest houses and hotels. The Whitelaw Hotel in Washington, D.C. was the first luxury hotel for African Americans in the nation's capital. And in New Orleans, Ellis Marsalis Sr., patriarch of the legendary jazz family, opened the Marsalis Mansion Motel in 1944. There was the Wells-built Hotel in Orlando, where performers like Ella Fitzgerald and Ray Charles stayed. And in South Florida, the La France Hotel served as a seasonal home for northern laborers and a resort for black vacationers. The Dale Hotel in Cape May hosted notable guests like Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois. Called the Harlem of the West, the Douglas Hotel and Creole Palace in San Diego offered black visitors and celebrities a place to stay and a stage to perform. And although black musicians could perform in the resort town of Ocean City, Maryland, only the Henry Colored Hotel provided accommodations to African Americans. Today, this rich cultural legacy continues. African American B&Bs are a thriving part of the hospitality industry. Step inside and take a look at these inns of color.
I'm fond of saying that black folks started the bed and breakfast industry because during segregation we weren't able to stay in white-owned establishments. As we traveled along, we'd ask somebody and they would put you up and they would never let you get back on the road without a warm meal. So that to me is where the bed and breakfast concept evolves from.
Akwaaba DC, a cultural destination located in the nation's capital, a literary-themed bed and breakfast that transports you to the Harlem Renaissance. Taste the food, feel the warmth, and enjoy the unique experience owner and founder Monique Greenwood has to offer.
Toni Morrison has been here. She has seen her room. I ended up going with Toni Morrison because of the sense of nature and her Afrocentricity, and I didn't want to have a room that kind of reflected that. So that's what we did with Toni Morrison. Walter Mosley was so honored that we named a room after him that he gave us a complete library signed of every book he ever wrote. I have 8 guest rooms in this location, and I wanted to pay homage to our authors in each of those rooms. Hey, welcome to Akwaaba DC. I'm Monique. Come on in. Okay, right this way is our check-in area. We do have a laptop computer here if you need to get online for any reason. This is our sitting parlor. There's lots of places to sit, especially in that wonderful big picture window. And we have tons of books throughout the house. So this is our dining room where we're going to serve breakfast tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
This morning we are preparing French toast, spiced pears, and turkey bacon.
Of course, the breakfast.
Yeah, the breakfast is good. Normal breakfast I normally don't eat, but I enjoyed it. It was so good. I really did enjoy it. It was healthy as well.
So this is the fabulous Zornia Hurston suite. Zora is a diva, so this room had to be fit for a diva. We of course have a portrait here and this lush ultra suede chaise lounge where you can just stretch out and read one of her many books. We have a full collection here. We have a great antique brass bed, king size of course. A wonderful writing desk. So if you're working on your own book, you can come and write here or write your postcards out, but it's great to have a desk in the room. All of our rooms have these wonderful lush bathrobes that of course are embroidered with Akwaaba, but this is a microfiber and it feels like butter. Our bathrooms, of course, this one has a jacuzzi tub for 2. Very romantic. We have a beautiful mantelpiece. This is all the original tile that was here. The window seat is wonderful because you can relax right there, look out on 16th Street and watch the day go by. DC is an amazing city, and having a bed and breakfast in this town is great. I grew up on the other side of the tracks in Washington, so the thought of having and owning property in DuPont Circle, was a dream that I probably thought unattainable at one point. This location is prime because you can walk to the White House from here. You can walk to Howard University. Historic U Street is down the street. A lot of the sororities and fraternities have their headquarters around the corner. There are embassies. It's just in the middle of everything.
We're staying in the Inspiration Room. The room is really, really, really nice. A lot of antique furniture. It has a king size wrought iron bed.
Yes.
And then it has this fabulous soaking tub.
Yeah.
With a canopy that surrounds it, which I stayed in about 2-3 hours last night.
That's where most of the time was spent in the tub. Best of all, to me, is the tub is actually in the main bedroom. Right. So, it's personal. Yeah,
real personal.
Yeah. Langston Hughes is who I decided on because Langston. There's an elegance about Langston. So I kind of worked with a haberdashery theme. I started with this portrait in the sepia brown tones, and that was really the inspiration for making the room chocolate brown. It's quite fine. The artwork in this room, again, reflects that old style haberdashery, whether it's the Cuban cigar where Langston spent time in Cuba, or his chapeau, or the car of the period during the Harlem Renaissance. Guys love this room, but so do women. It's just a rich, rich room and a wonderful tribute to Langston.
I think coming here, the experience that I will hold on to is just, it takes you to another place. Obviously, we weren't there during the Harlem Renaissance in that time, but it definitely pushes you right there. Our room specifically, it has a portrait of Langston Hughes and, him as a poet in Harlem. And it's just awesome. You feel a part of it. The furniture, everything speaks to then. And you can just feel how, the passion that he wrote with in the times, with black people and what they experienced.
When I found out it was a literary themed bed and breakfast, because my wife loves to read, it just made sense.
After staying in a number of B&Bs and loving that experience and discovering that owning a bed and breakfast would tap into my personal passions of entertaining and decorating and so forth, I thought this house would be the perfect bed and breakfast.